Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome along to the finale of Season 1 of TUF on F1 2017. We're here in Division 1 for the anticipated Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Joining me this evening in the box, as per normal, is Michael. Hello, mate. Yeah, very well, thank you, buddy. How are you? Yeah, man. Should be good. So this roller coaster ride is finally about to end. In about an hour and a bit's time, we will have our champion, we will have our relegated drivers, and we'll have our final positions for this first season of F1 2017. Been a lot of issues along the way, unfortunately, with game problems and glitches here, there and everywhere. So before we do anything tonight, I think it's really important that we say a massive thank you to all of the admins and the guys that run this league, because without those guys doing what they do, this league would be an absolute shambles with all of the problems that go on. So those guys keep it nailed on. They do everything to the best of their ability, and yeah, I think they do a fantastic job. So credit to you guys, and if it wasn't so sad, I would sit here and applaud you myself. So thank you very much for all of your efforts, and long may it continue into Season 2. So tonight we are at Abu Dhabi at the Yas Marina circuit. Fairly new circuit to the F1 calendar. We're looking at about 28 laps here this evening, along a 2.9 mile long circuit. So it should be quite interesting. A couple of long DRS straights and a lot of twisty corners. Sector 3 in particular is going to be very tough, especially when the guys are wheel to wheel. A lot of room for accidents. It's quite a wide circuit, but I would imagine there'll still be a few little bumps here and there along the way. So basically the main talking points this evening are of what it was last week, really. I mean, we saw an unfortunate night for Fuzzer where he had really bad lag issues, and Dobby ended up climbing up the field to finish third, and it's put him, I believe, 13 points behind Fuzzer going into this final race of the season. So the big question is, will Fuzzer be able to keep his connection stable, and will Dobby get a good result? Because it could twist and turn. What's your views, Michael? What do you think is going to happen? Yeah, exactly. Just sorry to cut you short, mate. I think the guys are still having problems hearing you. Can you double check that you're allowing your voice to be shared and stuff like that? I can hear you absolutely fine, but if you can just double check, we might as well get this all wrapped up now. It's always allow. If you just maybe click on allow for current party, and maybe jump out the party and then rejoin. As long as we get this sorted now. If you want to jump out, double check your settings, and then I'll invite you back in now. Cool. Sorry for the mix up there, guys. Luckily we picked up on it early, which is a bit of a blessing, really. So yeah, it should be very interesting this evening. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. Obviously Ravers will hopefully review what you just said. Welcome back, mate. Do you want to just double check that we can all hear you okay? So yeah, it should be very interesting this evening. I can hear you absolutely fine. Obviously Ravers will hopefully review what you just said. Welcome back, mate. Do you want to just double check that we can all hear you okay? No, I still can't hear you. Very strange. Let me just double check on the broadcast settings. Share party. Yeah, everything is as it should be, mate. so not too sure what's going on. Yeah, maybe do a very quick reset if you can. Be as quick as you can, bud. No worries, I will lead the fort. Right, yeah, sorry about the mix up there, guys. Like I said, we will try and get this sorted ASAP for you all, so you have the voices of both of us for this evening. So hopefully we've got plenty of action to talk you guys through. I can already see we've got a lot of comments in the stream, so keep those coming along, guys, and keep us posted and up to date with your thoughts as we go through. So yeah, it should be very interesting. Like I said, we've still got the risk of, obviously we've got Pagani, Lennon, and Trizzy. If I'm not too sure if Trizzy is racing, actually. Let me just double check. No, Trizzy is not racing, so by the looks of things, Trizzy is 100% going to be relegated this evening. We basically need a miracle for Pagani and Lennon to stay up. We basically need like a Pagani win. I think both of them really need to win the race this evening to have any chance of staying up, so it's going to prove to be very difficult for the two of them. So let's hope they have as much of a positive race as they can do, and we can move on. So yeah, fingers crossed tonight, lads. We shall have a very interesting one. But no, like we were saying, plenty of action to talk about. Obviously, we know we've got Fuzz's disconnection problem. Obviously, a lot of the focus is going to be on those two guys this evening, Fuzzer and Dobby, as we are obviously in the final race of the season. So a lot of the attention is going to be put onto those guys, as well as the guys that are up for relegation. Even if the guys do go down tonight, Pagani and Lennon and so on, let's hope they can just have a very good race and finish up in the points and have a good solid finish to the season and put them in good stead for Division 2, where I'm sure their fortunes will turn around very quickly. So yeah, just as a bit of a recap for the season, really, it's been a bit of a rollercoaster ride. Like I said, we've faced many problems as we've gone through, but fortunately we can put all of this behind us now and move on to a fresh season. So just to run through really some of the results that we've had so far this season. So we've had a couple of wins in the first two races for Good Aids, and then we've had a win for James in Bahrain, and then moved on to Funky in Russia, and then we've got back-to-back wins for James in Spain and in Monaco. Then we had a win for Carl in Canada, and then George Alice got his first win of the season in Azerbaijan. And then we moved on to Schoen, who took a surprising win in Austria, but a very well deserved one. Then we got James took a win in Great Britain. And then we had Fuzzer actually got his first win of the season in Hungary, which is in round 11, which was great to see. And then we've had back-to-back wins for Ox in his first two races in Belgium and Italy. And then we had Dobby's first win in Singapore. And then when Good Age returned, he won in Malaysia. And then we moved back to George Alice, who took the win in Japan. Fuzzer got his second win of the season in USA. And then we had John taking the win in Mexico, and then finally NR in Brazil in the most recent race up until now. Now, Ravers, I believe you're back. Okay, lovely. No worries, buddy. Let me just double check. You're back. Okay, lovely. Nope, I still can't hear you. So I've got absolutely no idea what's going on, mate. No idea what is going on. I've checked all of the broadcast settings and so on. Apparently they could hear you at the start. So God knows, unfortunately. I don't think there's anything to do with my settings. I will just quickly double check that now before we go in to start party settings. Again, just double check your voice is allowed. I'll double check the broadcast settings. Yeah, I've got absolutely no idea. Very strange.
Very strange.
The only thing I can think of doing is possibly stopping the broadcast and restarting it to see whether that makes any difference. And as we're starting qualifying, I think that'll be the best option. Yeah, let's do that, guys. Right, guys, if you can just stay, click on the TUF.
Wait, I think they can hear me. Foggy just said, got him.
Got him, he's back. Okay, lovely.
Are they talking about me, though?
Yeah, let's do that, guys. Right, guys, if you can just stay... Hang on a sec. Yeah, you're very...
Yes.
Right, you're back, but you're very crackly.
Okay.
So, yeah, bit of an eventful start to the stream tonight, guys, but I think...
that's better.
Yeah, you're just a little bit kind of crackly. I'm not too sure why, but hopefully that'll fizzle out. But they appear like they can hear you, which is all positive news.
Yes.
Yes, very strange. Anyway, we've got a bit of a cluster on track so far. We've got just over 10 minutes of qualifying to go. We've got a lot of the guys come out very, very early to get their times in. Who's your tip for pole this evening, Michael? Who are you going to go for?
Well, I think probably Fuzzer is favourite. I think he was in the top, was it 50 or 60 of the time trials? I'm not sure. I had a quick look earlier on, but yeah, just to clear up what I was saying when people couldn't hear me, I was saying Fuzzer, if he puts his car on the front grid, or maybe second grid, that really would put the pressure on Dobby. He's already under pressure with 13 points behind, so I think he could really, doesn't have to be too defensive is what I'm trying to say really. So yeah, good qualifying from Fuzzer would put him right up there.
Yeah, certainly would. Well, I'm actually going to throw a spanner in the works tonight, and I'm going to say that NR's going to take pole, because
okay.
I had a look at his time trial earlier on, and it's very, very impressive. And he'll be high in confidence after winning in Brazil, and we saw that I think he was only a couple of spaces off of Dobby in the world rankings on this track. Sorry, off of Fuzzer, sorry, not Dobby. So I'm going to tip NR for pole. So yeah, and we're going to go on board with that man right now.
Okay.
If I can find him. There we go, in his McLaren. So we have 19 drivers on the grid tonight, guys, for the final race of the season. A couple of reserve drivers in the shape of John. We've also got a Division 2 driver, which was Lee. We've got Matty Suddens, and we also have Shay and Miracles, who has made a return. So fingers crossed those guys can have a good race. We're just on board with NR at the moment. We're going to change over to broadcast mode as he comes down that very, very long DRS straight. I think setups will be very important tonight. We know NR is predominantly based on straight line speed, so let's see how compromised he is in the corners. It's quite a wide track here in Abu Dhabi, so there will be opportunities to overtake around the corners, so we need to be very, very careful of that. I hope, Michael, that we just don't see any problems tonight with any safety car glitches or any problems like that we saw in Division 2 last night. Hopefully the guys can have a nice clean race tonight with not too many problems and interferences.
Yeah, I hope so. Just want to see some good racing. Don't mind the occasional incident, but yeah, don't want any safety car glitches. Got a couple of guys putting some lap times in already.
Right, very, very interesting. Fuzzer has retired from qualifying.
Wow.
Without setting a time, so he must have lost it somewhere. I can't actually see his car. Yeah, he's lost a wheel. He has lost a wheel.
He's lost it. Wow, already controversy.
So at the end of Sector 1 and start of Sector 2, he has lost a wheel. So Fuzzer is going to be starting from the back of the grid. That has made... well, I mean, I can kind of thank Fuzzer on the fact that he's going to prove us with some real entertainment tonight, because he's going to be fighting his way back up through the field. Now Dobby's going to see that, and Dobby is going to need to respond and put in a very, very strong qualifying. He's currently in P6 of a 1:37.8. I would expect him to go quicker than that. George Alice currently sits on pole of a 1:37.3. So Fuzzer, the championship leader, needs to finish within 13 points of Dobby this evening. So yeah, I mean, could it be a case of a cracked under a bit of pressure, or do you think it was just a bit of a mistake?
Well, I don't know. Could be anything. He just lost it. Don't know. Cold tyres. Could be anything. But yeah, it's made things a little bit more interesting, hasn't it?
Yeah, you're just to let you know, still very crackly and a bit echoey, so I'm not too sure what is going on. I mean, it's very intermittent. I mean, it's okay, but I just thought I'd let you know for reference. Not too sure why that's happening.
Is that a bit better?
That's better.
You can still hear me clearly?
I can hear you absolutely fine. That's much better. I don't know what was that. Yeah, bit of a strange one.
I think my microphone's too high.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Well, no, it's still a bit crackly now. Maybe turn it down a touch. Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one, but obviously we just want to make sure it's all kind of okay. Bit of a weird one. Sorry about the mix-up, mate. But interestingly enough, Ox and Miracles have set identical times with a 1:37.345. Well, this man Ox we're currently on board with in the Mercedes has certainly impressed since joining the league. So he's going to be one to watch next season. Obviously, we are missing good aids this evening. So yeah, as most of the guys now, with just over 5 minutes of the session remaining, are coming back into the pits to prepare themselves for their final run of the final qualifying of the season. So will there be any surprises?
Yeah, good time from Pagani. Bottom of the league, isn't he? At the moment.
Yeah, Pagani, yeah.
Yeah, he's put himself up there.
Yeah, he's put himself in the P7, only 4/10 off of pole position. So very good for Pagani. Lennon is down in P16, but Pagani's given himself as much hope as possible. If he can pull something out the bag tonight, it'd be an absolute miracle. But good luck to him. Good lad, Pagani, and he's not had no luck this season. Neither has Lennon, to be fair. So let's hope the guys can have a nice solid race. Excuse me. So just over 4 minutes left of the session. We've currently got George Alice on pole with Ox alongside him on the front row of Miracles, an identical time, and Lee, the Division 2 driver, is in P4. So George Alice, Ox and Miracles look by far the quickest on track at the moment. Dobby's down in P9, so he's going to need to improve. And with only a few minutes to go, just under 4 minutes to go, it will be very interesting to see how it all unfolds. Just going to jump into the stream chat.
Yeah, because I think he's put in a comment saying that his controller messed up or something. I didn't quite see what it said, but
Yeah, I think it said he's it just sort of went a bit funny and just threw him into the wall, so I'm not too sure.
very unlike Fuzzer to lose it at any part of any track, really, isn't it?
Yeah, very strange. Well, I'm just going to double check the volume on the stream. Very strange. I'm just going to double check the volume on the stream. Very strange. He's going to need to improve. Yeah, I think you might. It's still crackly either way, mate. So if you want to bump your microphone back up, because it's quite quiet on the stream, so just bump it up and we'll just make do. It's not too bad at all. It's just a little bit crackly here and there, but it's not the end of the world.
Okay, I'll put it back up.
Lovely.
Don't know what's happening with that.
No, a bit strange, but it's one of those things, isn't it? It's not the end of the world. Anyway, what we're going to need to do very soon is go on board with Dobby to see how he fares in his final run of the season. We've currently got the pole sitter of George Alice still in the pits. Ox is on a flyer by the looks of things.
As is Shay, but he's forgotten to underfuel.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, he's got 6.5 laps of fuel there. It happens, I do it all the time.
Yeah, it's very easy to do. There's so much to think about, so it's yeah, should be interesting.
Yeah, he's gone wide and that'll be an invalidated lap, so Shay won't be improving.
Yeah, exactly. Well, everyone's on their out laps. What we'll do is we'll stay on board with Ox, who's currently in P2s on the flying lap, and then we'll jump on board with Dobby. I know we've got George Alice on pole. We'll keep an eye on his time, as we will the rest of the guys, but I think Miracles has retired now from P3 as it currently stands. But I think we need to go on board with Dobby to see where he can put himself if he can avoid accidents and get a decent start in the race and bump himself up a few positions, he'll be putting himself in a very strong position. Oxford's just come up to a little bit of traffic now on the way of Catamies. Hopefully the guys play ball, which they do. Good work from George Alice. And Shea has retired from P8, so good qualifying from Shea so far. Wiskett lets Ox past. Looks like he's on a good...
Probably looks like he's got quite a lot of space, a lot of clean air to drive into. No one in front of him at the moment.
Lovely. Well, what we'll do is we'll stay on board with Ox as he completes his lap, see if he can improve, and then we'll jump ship over to Dobby. Oh, he's messed up the corner a little bit there, Ox. It's going to lose him a couple of attempts.
He's backed out.
Yeah, he has. He's backed out. So we're going to go on board with Dobby now. As this man was in his final lap of the season. Takes turn one pretty well. It's quite a tricky corner, turn one. If you take too much curve, it can lose you loads of time. Nice and smooth so far. Is he in sector one? Again, pretty smooth. Bit slow on the exit there. But it takes a sweep and left very nicely, and now it's hammered down along the very, very long DRS straight. We should see a few overtakes here this evening. Matty Suddens has retired from the session without setting the time. So Dobby needs to nail this corner here, which it looks like he does. Yeah, hammer down, perfect, perfectly taken. Yeah, so that's going to have gained him some time. I think we're going to see an improvement from Dobby here, touch wood. Fazza's going to be watching on with a keen eye. Oh, runs a little bit deep. Recovers it reasonably well. Yeah, he's lost a couple of attempts there, so I think what he made up on that chicane at the end of the long straight, he's kind of lost there, so he's probably running on about even, I'd say. I would expect to see an improvement, considering at the end there's a bit more grip on track. He just got to nail his last couple of corners, which he's taken a bit too much curb there. Lehigh's gone first with a 137 flat, sorry, 137.1, as Dobby comes around the final corner. Last qualifying of the season, is he going to take pole? He goes second.
Oh, well done.
So Dobby, under pressure, has delivered. He would have liked to have just, maybe if he didn't mess up on that little chicane, that sort of uphill chicane, he would definitely have got pole position there, I think. But nevertheless, he's going to be very, very happy with his time.
George Alice, oh, great lap from George Alice. I think it's a 137.1. He's third.
George Alice has gone third, so Dobby has held on to P2. So Dobby, as it currently stands, is in a very, very strong position. So I think, if my calculations are correct, which they're probably not, but if Dobby was to win the race, Fuzzer needs to come anywhere above P5, I think.
Yes.
I think that works out right.
Right.
Yeah, so he needs to finish anywhere above P5, so anything less than P5 won't do him any good. If the guys were to finish, on the rare chance, if they were to finish on the same amount of points, Fuzzer will win the championship because he's won more races. Or his average finishing position or something like that was a bit higher, or he's got more podiums than what Dobby has got. It works out somewhere like that. So yeah, final preparations now. 70 comments already. And Dobby's actual points. Right, sorry, that is a good question. Bear with me just a second. So we're just waiting for the guys now to prepare themselves for the final time. As it currently stands, going into this race, Fuzzer is on 198 points and Dobby is on 185. So he is 13 points behind. So yeah, 198 for Fuzzer and 185 for Dobby. So there we go, 5 seconds to go time. The drivers will be getting themselves comfortable, getting themselves prepared for the final race of the season. Good luck to everybody involved, as we are 5 lights. And we are away. We've got a drive-through penalty for Catamies. Let's hope he doesn't interfere with any of the guys in front. Looks like it's a fairly good start from Lee, but Dobby has gone up the inside. He's had a bit of a wobble there, and George Alice is now putting him under a bit of pressure. Going to stay on board with Dobby, so he's had a bit of a poor turn one. See whether George Alice is going to make a move. No, he's not. He pulls out. We've got a few cars going side by side in the background, which can stay on board with Dobby for the time being. We've got a time penalty. There's a couple of cars going off track.
Yeah, someone's lost their wing. It's a Red Bull, I believe. Is it a Red Bull? Oh, more contact. Lennon just got contact with... I can't see who it was. I think it might have been John.
George Alice is having a look at Dobby, so George Alice gets the move done and Dobby drops down to P3, so not the best start for Dobby. He's under pressure now from Ox, and he has Miracles just behind him as well. Pagani's had a good start, maintaining position in P6, who's had a fantastic qualifying. Pagani done everything he needs to do so far, and is Dobby going to have a look? Ooh. He went to have a look there at the back of George Alice, but he decided to move. But there's a big training forming behind Dobby for P3. Going to go to Ox, who's literally all over the back of Dobby. Let's hope there's no contact. This is very tricky downhill right turn. Everyone seems to take it pretty nicely. Not too much in the way of incidents so far, but Ox is under a bit of pressure from Miracles now, who is Dobby's teammate for the evening. So whether there'll be any team orders or any favouritism, we shall soon see.
Yeah, it was Shay who lost his front wing, totally gone. So
unlucky for Shay. Well,
yeah.
Lee has had an excellent start so far. He's found himself 2 seconds up the road, so he's absolutely flying. I think there might have been a bit of a corner cut somewhere though. But yeah, very interesting start to the race. Let's hope that will continue. What Dobby needs at this moment in time is for Miracles to put Ox under some pressure, so he's more worried about who's behind him than who's in front of him. Because George Alice has pulled out just under a second from Dobby, and George normally has pretty good straight line speed. So already 2 laps into the race, we are 75 comments strong in the stream. Having a look at tyre selection, everybody inside the top 10 now are all on ultra softs, and we've got 11 to 14th, that includes Fuzzer on the super soft tyres. Got Woods and Shone on the softs, Matty Suddens on the supers, Katamis on the softs, and then Shay rounds up the final place on the grid with ultra soft tyres. So yeah, Fuzzer opting to start on the super softs, so interesting call from Fuzzer. Not too sure what his strategy is going to be. I imagine it's going to be a 2-stop. I think he'll do well to 1-stop ultra softs to softs around a track like Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, just while you were going through the tyres, he did a nice overtake on Woods, and he's already caught back up to the train in front of him. We'll see is his next target.
Certainly has. So Fuzzer's up 5 places already, so I think, well, it's going to be one of those situations for Fuzzer where it's just going to be kind of damage limitation for him. If he wins the race, I'll be extremely impressed. We know he's got very strong pace, but is he going to make any sort of reckless moves to try and capitalise on any potential places? He's going side by side with Corey now, and he's actually going to lose a place out to Woods. They're going side by side. Come on, please change screen. There we go. Okay, so very close there, and Shone's just in the back of this as well. Woods is not an easy person to overtake, and he's actually on 1 compound softer than what Fuzzer is currently on. Is Woods going to have a look? No, but Fuzzer's going to have a look at Corey. Corey moves out the way nice and respectfully, but Woods is having a dive. His contact between Corey and Woods, and Woods eases off, and it allows Fuzzer to go through. So, well,
good start from Fuzzer. Just before that, he had to avoid the battle between Wiskit and I think it was Woods in that place at that time, or it might have been Corey, I can't quite remember, but they were having a bit of a battle and Fuzzer had to back off and brake, so it's good that he's got through that.
Exactly, but I've just seen some debris there. I think Pagani's lost a touch of his front wing, literally as I changed to him on the screen. Could be wrong, but that's what it looked like to me.
We'll see.
Well, there we go. Pagani's got a 3-second time penalty, so I think he's struggling a little bit. I think he's going to soldier on. So far, as we start lap 4 of this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We've got Lee in first place with George Ellis closing the gap lap by lap, so he's 1.2 seconds behind, and we've got Dobby 1.6 behind in P3. She's doing what he needs to do at the moment, and there's a retirement in the background, and that is Miracles. Miracles has gone, so will that bring out a safety car? If he leaves the session within sort of 2 minutes, that tends to make the session glitch, so hopefully Miracles doesn't do that. It looked like a very unfortunate incident. I only caught the back of it in the back of the screen.
It's just after the S section, isn't it, in sector 1?
Yeah.
So easy to use it there.
Yeah, so I don't know whether it was self-inflicted or whether it was any sort of contact there, but it looks like there's a permanent yellow in sector 1, but I've not seen any virtual safety cars. But what that has done is that's eased up a little bit of pressure on some of the front runners, and it's gained Pagani a position up to P5. So Pagani's driving very strong at the moment, so well done to him.
Those are up to 11th now.
Yeah, just about to say, Fuzz is up to P11.
And in the points.
There we go, but now Fuzz has a 3-second gap to John. All of the guys in front of him are going to be on ultra soft tyres, and with all due respect to some of the other guys down towards the bottom of the grid, he's now got to overtake some very tricky customers, and the first person of that pack is John, and we know how much of a good defensive driver John is. So yeah. Let's see what Fuzzer is made of. How badly does he want to win this championship? As it currently stands, Dobby would be champion. I know only 5 laps in, but as it currently stands, Dobby would be world champion by 1 point. Yeah.
Wow.
But what's really important for Dobby is that he gets the win tonight, because